gentlemen, to another episode of the Women's Health Podcast with Kim and Dr. C. This is Dr. C, yours truly, the Women's Health Doc, with my beautiful co-host,
Kimberly Hoffman-Reed, the Women's Health Physio. How are you doing, Dr. C?
Hi, Kim. I'm good, I'm good. I'm enjoying the day. As you know, last week I was away, and my apologies. I know you have me up.
No,
But
I don't. Enjoy yourself. I was loving the feed, over on the Women's Health Doc page. I was loving it.
with
All the
all the
interesting treats that you were eating. Very interesting stuff. I don't know. I'm not very adventurous with food. Stick to the basics, chicken, fish.
No, I think you have to explore, especially when you visit a new country, you have to get a taste of the culture. You might be surprised, how the things that you might actually find quite appetizing.
And, I'll get a taste of the culture in other ways, not a literal taste. That's not where I'm heading with things.
I guess
I'll
you didn't you
partake in
didn't
the other activities.
you didn't see anything that you liked.
No, I did not.
Okay.
Barnacles, no. It's a no for me. Hard,
No.
no. Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
while you're away traveling the world
Mm.
and enjoying yourself, few things happened, over on the social media scene. So we can start with our what's trending.
All
So the
right.
first thing, I don't think we mentioned this before. So they have been testing birth control for men.
Mm-hmm. Oh, again?
Can you guess what birth control they have for men?
I'm gonna cheat because I did see the post that you forwarded to me. I don't know if I responded, but I did see the post you forwarded, so I'm not gonna admit that I'm cheating. Was it some kind of gel or something that they're on?
Yes, something they rub on the shoulder.
Yes. So I guess you're not happy with that.
I mean, I'm happy if they develop a birth control that works for men. Of course, I'm happy with that. But for the years, women have been taking birth control. There was no rub on that we could have developed for women.
Come on, Kim. That's where you're going with it.
That's exactly where I'm going with it, Doc. We've been putting in IUD without any pain numbing drug and all of that for years. These are the options: pills, IUD, which is an insert,
Intrauterine
the
device.
yes,
Right.
and the what's this one called again? The underarm one.
The injection.
Not the injection, the one that you put
Depo-Provera.
on your skin. No, the one you put
Oh,
on
the
the
subdermal implants you put under the.
subdermal implants.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, injections. Those have been the options. Hysterectomy
No, yeah, patches as
or
well.
your tubal ligation. Which patch?
Yeah,
And where do
patches
you
as
have
well.
access to these patch?
No, yeah, patches. They have patches. Patches are readily available. It's just
Nobody
that.
ever told me about patches.
Well, that's probably the issue. I mean, probably it's a situation where it wasn't available in where at the time when you were on the location, but their patches widely
Are
available.
patches
Patches are
available
for a
in
long
Jamaica?
time. Yeah, they're not very popular in Jamaica though. What you find is that patches tend to be more popular in more temperate countries, countries with more temperate climates.
Because of
Um,
sweating?
because yeah, quite often, it's hot and people are sweating, and so for whatever reason, I think that's my theory. That's one of the theories.
Okay.
That patches never have not really taken off so much in warmer climates. But there are countries that even
How
tropical
often do
countries
you
that use patches.
how often do you
Usually like
prescribe?
a patch once a week, and
What?
yeah, you take
What's
a
the
1 week break.
what's the effectivity or how efficient is it?
Patches are very effective. Probably even more, certainly more effective than taking pills when we talk about actual use. because
Really?
because of the
You're
fact
not
that
gonna tell me we have patches over here with 90% upwards, and we're not taking it?
yeah, you know, probably it's an issue in terms of the how detailed and how comprehensive the counseling process is. You know, but there are methods that are pain free, less invasive. You have the vaginal ring, for example,
Well, yeah, we know about
right?
that one.
You know,
But that one you have to put in right before, right?
so no, not like the diaphragm or the cap, you know, in terms of
Oh,
different modalities, eh?
but that's painless. Well, I
Uh-huh.
think no. So now we have a new problem.
Uh-huh.
Now women need to be educated on all the options, not just the more common options.
Yeah, I think that's really where it needs where the discussion perhaps need to be, you know. The how comprehensive is the counseling and how wide a selection are distributors bringing into certain regions, you know, wide a selection
Yeah,
of
that's
contraceptive
definitely a
options.
conversation
Yeah.
because I would choose a patch or anything that rubs on. I would definitely choose it once
Right.
it's effective.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
even
yeah,
over
yeah.
here rubbing on cream on their shoulders. I want to rub cream on my shoulders and not take pills.
Yeah.
That sounds. I want to be a part of that.
Well, yeah, it's available. So I'm
So
happy
now I
to
need
know
to go
that.
on the hunt for patches.
Yes, I'm happy to know that you know, at least our discussion is bringing this to light, you know.
Yeah, because I can tell you that that was never on my radar in terms of patches.
Yeah, is it a situation, say it was never brought up at all?
No, I can't recall any
Mm,
conversations where we're talking about contraceptives and the patch came up.
yeah.
I would
So is
definitely
there
remember that. Because I don't like taking pills. I can't remember to take my pills. 1 week, put on my shoulder,
yeah.
sign me up,
So
and I don't sweat much. Today's not a good day,
and then
but I
yeah,
don't sweat much. So I would
right.
definitely go patches.
Yeah, most women nowadays are indoors, air
AC,
conditioning, you know,
yeah.
so they, yeah. It's very effective, the patch. Comparable to the injection, the pill, failure rate is probably, I mean, we're looking at probably about 96. So well over 90%.
96.
Between
Come
93 and
on.
96% efficacy.
I feel cheated.
Yeah. Usually we talk about when we talk about failure rate, we talk about number of pregnancies per 100 women per year.
Mhm.
So that would fall into the category of about between 4 and 7 pregnancies per 100 women, meaning that 4 to 7%, if we look at it
Yeah,
that way, failure rate. So that's just as good
that's
as the
okay.
pill,
That's
and
right
that
up
is
there with
when
the pill, yeah.
that's when the pill is taken properly, by the way.
And that's
And
when the pill's taken.
it's
And
as
I know who
it's up
don't take
there
the
with
pill
the
properly.
up there with the injectable options, you know. But the key thing is that it has to remain in place, so that's the issue. And
But that's still one place, it can't move.
once you put it on, I usually put it on a discrete location. Some women will on usually the shoulder, you know, and the last, it's convenient, there's weekly dosing. Vaginal ring is similar, you know. So yeah, there are
I
options
don't know
there.
what I
It's
feel
not
about that.
that bad.
The ring, it's invasive. The ring is like,
Well, you know, fine, but at
mm.
least people are aware of
But
it,
it's
right?
still, yeah, it's not that
It's an
bad.
option.
Well,
Mm.
it's an option, and we need to hear all the options. I think we need a show on all the options, Doc. That needs to
I
come up
agree.
next. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So second, so we did that one. Second,
Yeah.
it is I think we have done shows on products and the toxicness of products and how it's been affecting fertility and disrupting our hormones, hormone disruptors. But
Right.
the big I think it's a class action lawsuit, or I don't know how it came out this year, but was last week. The major tampon companies, they've tested and found that they have poisonous substances in tampons.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I mean, we always knew it wasn't 100% safe, and we always knew there were some amounts of toxic compounds in like pads and tampons. But we're talking about let me just heavy metals. Let me just pull it up real quick. Want to believe I had like, yeah. So they had arsenic, lead, and other toxic heavy metals found in tampons. And we're talking about like the leading brands like Tampax, like the number one. The paper also said like 30% of tampon users, they use Tampax. So it's a lot of women who would have been affected. And this study is coming out of UC Berkeley School of Public Health. 16 different heavy metals in tampons from 14 different brands purchased in the US and the UK. So that came out last week. Yeah.
So did they find any associations between that observation and any particular health disorders?
Not really. They haven't made the link. They just tested the tampons to find
tampons and found that there are heavy metals inside of them.
Right.
Yeah, boy, we're in a dilemma at this point, Kim, and I'm figuring that more and more of these kind of articles are going to be published. We're going to find more and more things that we use every day have been contaminated by heavy metals and so forth, because because of the industrialized processes that incorporate these things that previously we really didn't pay any attention to.
Right.
And so the more awareness that you get out there about the importance of certain substances, I figure that there's going to be more and more coming out. You know?
And I think because like now we're having so many issues with women and infertility that people are wondering why. So they're looking into everything, and we're finding things. We're consistently finding things, from our perfumes to our deodorant to now our tampons. We're finding that these products that we use daily, they do have hormone disruptors, and they are affecting women's ability to reproduce.
Yeah, and it's not just women,
Yes.
it's not just those women. One of the things we have seen is fall in male fertility. There, between 1970 and 2010, there's been over 50%, about a 52% fall in average sperm concentrations or sperm counts in men.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. So a big fall. Yeah. 50% decline. Right. And that is, when you mirror that against the increase in production of industrial waste compounds or just industrialization in a whole, it actually creates an inversely proportional relationship. In other words, we see over the same time frame, as industrialization increases, chemical manufacturing increases, sperm counts are falling, are going in opposite direction. So there's clearly a link between industrial chemical productions, overall industrial processes, and fertility, not just for females, but for males as well.
Wow.
I mean, it's something that is serious, and of course it's in a number of the products that we are using now. You're speaking about feminine hygiene products, but face creams, lotions, perfumes, definitely these products, almost invariably you're finding that they're containing what we call endocrine disruptors. Yeah. And these are essentially substances that mimic some of the functions of some of the hormones in our body, like estrogen,
Right.
and they can block androgens. So you find that overall there's decreased testosterone in men linked to the use of these kind of substances. You know, everybody wears perfume nowadays. Everybody want to smell sweet.
And
You
it's in
know,
everything. It's you use a detergent, you use your body wash.
there you
It's
go.
in everything. There's
Everything.
nothing that is just
Yeah.
without fragrance or perfume.
Yeah. Even when we're cleaning, the cleaning agents we use.
Cleaning agents,
Yeah.
everything.
You know, because we want everything to smell fresh.
Good.
You know.
And I think it's this obsession with clean. Like I get clean in terms of, wanting to have a healthy, safe space. But I think there's also this obsession with thinking that clean means smell good, and that it is to our detriment, really.
Right.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, it is. You know, and that's the thing, you know, as I said, it's like, I know I said it's a lot, Kim, but the solution to one problem invariably creates another, isn't it?
Yes.
So, you know, we want to be hygienic, we want things to be clean, we want to cover every odor. But of course, we're realizing now that there are consequences to that, you know.
The funny thing is, the best way to cover odor is just normal products that we know works, like baking soda. Good old baking soda. We don't need all of these additives to make our homes clean.
Yeah, we don't need, and the truth is, I think where we have to go is to say probably is really moderation. You know, if for example we're going to be using a perfume or cologne, do we really need to be using also a scented lotion, or do we really need to use
body wash?
Scented body wash. I mean, I remember the days when lotion was just lotion. You had lotion and then you had scented lotion, and people were marketing scented lotion as a separate product. Now it seems that everything has some kind of fragrance, is scented. You know, so the question is, do we need all of those things? So you're gonna bathe with the body wash that's has, you know, is fragrance, whatever washing your face with. Then we're gonna put on skin products. Then they're gonna spray on more, and you know, I think sometimes we go to a little bit too far.
And I think it is overconsumption because on clean Instagram or clean talk, as I call it, when they're showing all these people cleaning, what person don't understand is that these individuals, they're influencers. They get paid to sell these products. So they're on there using 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different products to clean the couch. And really and truly, you can do it with baking soda, little detergent, water, but they don't get paid if they come on here and watch the couch with water, detergent, and
something that you already have. Yeah.
Right? So they come on and they're showcasing all these products. You can watch it because I love to watch it, but I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy all of it. I'm going to look up how to clean your couch using simple household items. That's what I'm going to look up. And then I'm going to do that. But you can watch their content, you can give them the views so they can get paid without the overconsumption. And every now and again, you probably find a lovely product that it's a nice addition to your routine. But you don't need all 10. You don't need to follow these influencers because they're just trying to market their product. And you have to watch social media with this in mind.
Absolutely. I think that's powerful because what most people don't understand is that the whole concept of social media is designed around advertising. The whole idea here is to capture your attention so that you have the owners of these companies have a captive audience to which to market things to. So once you step into the social media framework, you have to be aware that somebody's trying to sell you something.
They're trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
They're trying to sell you something, and you need to arm yourself with this knowledge. I mean, they have skin talk. These are the talks that I like. So they have skin talk as well. And I love to see it. I love to see it.
It's your I love tongue, Kim, because I'm learning all the. I didn't know there was clean gram. Now you tell me about skin talk.
Skin talk.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like So you know, I was telling you about the skin and the
I'm
dewy
getting
look.
comfortable now, so I can I can learn.
So you know, I was telling you about the dewy look. So they have this Korean skincare trend, and they're trying to get this kind of glass. You see how my it's just bouncy like that? This is
Yeah.
healthy skin, a signal of healthy skin. So they have this they have this whole thing where they're trying to make your skin look glass like you know, like how you see my face like shining and glowing. It's like this
Yes.
glass like effect. So they use all these products, and I love to see them using all these products. But I know my face don't like all those products. So I'm just watching it because I know my core skincare already. I know what I just need a basic cleanser, a toner with a balanced pH, and a moisturizer and a serum, right? And right now I'm using black seed oil and vitamin E oil. Oh, I love it. But yeah, I'm just not putting all these chemicals on my face because I know these makers of these products, they use all these other products. So yes, they have the good stuff in there, but they're using all these other chemicals to stabilize the product so that they can sell and they can stay on the shelf for these long periods of time. So I'm not interested, but I love to see it. I love to watch it. I love to watch it. And that's what people need to realize, that you can love to see it, you can love to watch it without necessarily taking on all of that. You don't need to.
Yeah.
You don't
No,
need to.
definitely. It has to be balanced. I mean, even when you talk about the heavy metal products that they found in the tampons, you know, we forget that not long ago we had issues with lead, for example. You know,
Yes.
when you know, lead from the paints, you know, probably about in 30, 40 years ago, that was a big thing. It still is a big
Big
thing
thing.
because,
Still
you know,
is.
and if you want to get more contemporary, even Flint, Michigan. You remember Flint, Michigan, with the water supply being contaminated
Right.
by lead. So, you know, and in that case, what was happening was that you were having, first of all, decrease in the fertility rate, but then there are, you know, increased numbers of fetal malformations, you know, and fetal deaths, you know. So it was the actual health outcomes that caused the authorities and researchers to start to look at what was going on in the actual environment.
It's strange though, because the water was brown. I don't see why it needed to get there. When I watched documentaries and I turned on the pipe and the water was brown.
Well, you know what?
That should have been the first flag.
But then, you know, but to be fair, I mean, yeah, certainly I don't think anybody should be drinking brown water, but I don't think that the water coming from every pipe was brown. I think
Yeah, maybe
sometimes
it
things are
was.
sensationalized for the sake of media.
Oh.
But the truth is that I bring this up not necessarily just to talk about that particular setting, but to talk about the fact that sometimes we miss the
Yeah,
dangers that we expose ourselves to. So,
right.
so, so, for example, if we know that something has harmful substances in it, then we probably should be trying to avoid that thing, you know?
But the truth is, a lot of times people know, because I know the girl is on Perfume Talk.
Mm-hmm. Perfume talk. No, I know another one. So skin talk, perfume talk.
No, Perfume
Yeah.
Talk is that is overconsumption at its highest. Like you see behind me, there are girls with closets full of perfumes.
Yeah.
Closets, like they have a perfume room. And again, amazing content. I love to watch it. But there's no way, absolutely no way. And they're like mixing 4, 5, 6 perfumes for their scent
Oh.
of the day. And that is overconsumption at its finest, because perfume on its whole is already a bunch of mixed chemicals
Mm-hmm.
in one bottle. And you're taking that from one bottle to two bottles to 3 to 4, 5, 6.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of chemicals that you're mixing together every day.
Yeah.
On your skin, you're inhaling that. And they're spraying everywhere. They're like, oh, spray here if you want. When they hug you, you smell nice, and spray here. So they're spraying everywhere.
Oh, wow, 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 wow.
And then
You know,
they're vulnerable young girls watching this, and they're like, oh, I have to do that so that I can smell good, so that I can be liked. And they
yeah.
have those sensationalized headlines like, if you want to never lose a friend again, or some crazy post that makes no sense that young girls will see and be like, I don't want to lose a friend again. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, well, anyway, I think the key thing is, but we just have to, people have to be more aware and be safe. Read the labels on what it is that you're consuming. I'm a big believer in, for example, since we've gone down this road about toxins and stuff, trying to get a good filter for your water. That's something that I think person should definitely think about if you're not sure. If you're not sure, there are some countries
Right.
generally where the water supply is pretty good. You have lots of rivers and so forth. But if you're not sure, it's probably good to get invest in a good filter. Because I remember a quote. I can't remember who it came from. If you don't have a filter, then you become the filter.
Ah, that's interesting.
You
That's a good
understand?
one.
So yeah, if you don't
Yeah.
have a filter, then you are, if you
Yeah.
become the filter.
Yeah,
And so can you imagine
absolutely.
the number of all of these toxins that we are
Coming in your body.
leaching out into our bodies?
What I also noticed is like here in Jamaica now we have all these water stores. So persons are drinking the water from the water store and thinking, oh, I'm not drinking pipe water. So that's 100% safe. But I have a friend who now sells ice. So they test the water and they measure the water. I don't know much about the numbers and the indexes, right? But he's saying like 4 is safe to drink. That's the number he gave me. 4 is safe to drink. And he's saying that he, just out of curiosity, he started testing a lot of the water companies around, and somewhere like 15, somewhere like 20. I don't know much about the numbers, but if 4 is safe, 15 and 20 is pretty far off, right? It's pretty far off.
Right.
And he said that he tried to get his numbers below 4. And I can tell you, when the storm was coming, I filled up my bottles at his store. He doesn't sell water, he makes ice. But I went and filled up some water bottles from the water he's made ice. And you could literally tell the difference. You could definitely say, oh my gosh, the waters that I've been drinking, it's not the same. It's not the same. You could literally taste the difference. And I'm like, that's pretty scary because you're thinking that you're doing the right things for your body. And then you come to learn that these companies don't have good practices. So again, you probably need better regulation in terms of these water companies because they're coming up out of nowhere. They're coming up they're coming up out of nowhere. We don't even know where they're sourcing the water. The trucks that they're using to source the water, we don't know any of that. And then
That's
they put it through
interesting.
this little thing, and you're like, oh, it's filtered now because I see them put it through this little thing.
So, well, I can't say I know so much about the jargon related to water. I don't know if that's probably the water quality index that he's referring to. I know they have something called turbidity index or so. I'm not sure. Salute. Salute.
Yeah, I don't know what he was talking about. He was just talking numbers, and I understand numbers. If 4 is safe, everything else sounds wrong.
So the point you're making is that when he was testing, he was finding that the water may not be as safe as it needs to be. We assume that once it's in a bottle, it's better than anything else. Yeah, you're right. And we have to be careful that we don't end up being scaremongers and people
we don't want
get afraid. We don't want to. But it's really the point is for us to try and protect ourselves. Because we're living in an age now where people have become so obsessed with money, Kim, that they're willing to do anything at all to make a buck, even if it means destroying somebody else's life. And so unfortunately, we also know that we can't fully leave everything up to the authorities, policymakers to ensure our safety. We have a responsibility to look after ourselves.
Precisely. And we can do the little that we can. I mean, you're not going to get it perfect. You're not going to avoid every toxin, but there are other things that you can do. One, you can be more mindful and try to eliminate as much as possible. It's not entirely possible to eliminate all toxins. And then you can also detox. Exercise, sweating, that will help a lot. because
Mhm.
we've always had, I was saying to my husband this morning, because I'm into mold toxicity now, especially after the rain and looking if anywhere has mold. But I'm like, we've lived with mold from the beginning of time. It wasn't
Right.
killing all of us, or we don't know because we didn't have research. But we were living with mold. But I'm saying that we moved more. So we'll be able to sweat more to get rid of a lot more toxins than we probably are these days. We're
Mhm.
probably exposed to mold. We're not moving much. We're just there. So our bodies can't really do much with it, and it just makes us sick. So one of the main things, we can detox. There are teas that we can drink, natural herbs that can help with the process. Drinking lots of water, your normal daily amount of water you should take in for the day. You can exercise, as I said before, get moving, sweat, and that will help a lot. So there's also that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point in terms of lifestyle, because when we're indoor, the more indoors we are,
Mhm.
the more we're exposed to recirculating air, right?
Right.
So you're locked inside. It's the same stale air that's recirculating. So if there's mold in the environment, in the internal environment, you're going to be more likely to pick up that mold, right?
Right.
Um, so we know that ventilation reduces mold exposure, because
Mm-hmm.
the mold releases into the air what we call spores, which are like tiny
Mm-hmm.
seeds that literally float in the currents of the
Mm-hmm.
air that we inhale. So whenever we're in open air. So when you go outside
Mm-hmm.
and we're able to get more circulation of air and access to fresher air. All right. Not always fresh, but it's fresher
For
because
sure
at
then.
least it's circulating.
Yeah.
The windows are open. That's good. But getting out, that's one of the benefits of exercise too. When you get out, especially when you get out and get fresh air, you reduce your exposure to certain factors that's concentrated within the household environment. The other thing as well is that when you talk about hydrating yourself and getting adequate fluids, there are a number of factors that drain urine that determine, for example, how our body purges itself. We know the urine is a major way that your body cleanses itself, right? Your urine is one of the ways the body excretes toxic substances, right? Toxic metabolites. Also sweat, right? But primarily urine. Now, the thing about it is that you're going to keep producing urine regardless of whether or not you're getting out to exercise. But the thing about it is that when you exercise, um, the secretion of sweat also causes you to feel more thirsty, and so you're
Mm-hmm.
drinking more fluids. And so by drinking more fluid, it allows you also now to cleanse your body, right?
Yep.
Because I don't know if you realize, Kim, when you're inside in air conditioning, for example, you don't feel thirsty. You
No, you
literally can go
don't.
the whole day and not drink
You
any
don't
fluid.
feel thirsty. I just step outside though.
You
Especially in
understand?
this heat.
Yeah. So yeah, when you're inside, you don't feel thirsty. You're still urinating. In fact, you probably urinate more
More
when you're
because
in
it's
the
probably
cold.
cold. Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is that your net fluid balance is low. So you actually become dehydrated.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So there are many of us now who are actually walking around who are
Chronically.
dehydrated, chronically
Yeah.
dehydrated. And
Mm-hmm.
so therefore we talk about the lack of cleansing our body. We need to consider that, the importance of getting out there and getting some
Instead of
exercise.
instead of worrying about all around us and cleaning everything with every product known to man, think about how you were cleansing inside of your
Of
bodies.
your
Because
bodies,
that's
right,
also
right.
important. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. And green juice. Me and my green juice. I love me some juice. Green juice is so good. So, and Doc, I always like to point out when we say green juice, I always like to talk about it a little bit more. Because once you hear green juice, some people might they go X, no, never. And I was like that. I was like, nah, catch me, I drink no green juice. Green juice, who, me? No. So I was always like, green juice, me, no way. No way I was gonna drink any green juice. Just the color alone is enough to be like, no, I'm not gonna drink that. But it's actually really not that hard to make great tasting green juice. Like it can actually taste really nice. And it's pretty easy. So you just need one fruit that's sweet. So that can be your apple, your banana, your pineapple. Pineapples, taste it to make sure it's sweet. Because if it's not sweet, it might throw off the whole thing if you don't have something sweet, especially when you're just a beginner green juice drinker. Because no, I can't drink all the taste bad ones. But beginner green juice, you just need one sweet fruit, banana, apple, and a sweet pineapple. And you choose your greens. Can be kale, can be callaloo, it can be. I don't recommend spinach if you're just starting green juice. That's a hard one, but kale is good, lettuce is good, cucumbers are good, and you blend one or more with your sweet fruit. You can throw in some chia seed and some flaxseed, a little lime, and that's it. That's it. It's very refreshing. Celery is good too. Celery actually tastes good as a green juice too. That is it. That is it. It's not hard.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand a lot of persons not liking the taste. Especially in the Caribbean, most of us don't grow up eating a lot of greens.
Right.
But I find that it's probably easier to consume greens as juices. So you find that you probably drink more servings of vegetables if you make it into a drink than you do if you eat it, right?
For sure. Unless it's callaloo and saltfish.
Yeah. So you get a lot of the minerals, vitamins, phytonutrients that are there. And one of the things with especially in the vegetable greens that you mentioned, that packed with antioxidants, so very good in terms of immune function, dealing with inflammation within the body. So yeah, certainly. And then if it is that, sorry, go ahead.
And then fiber. You get the fiber.
Well, that's where I was going to go now. That's where I was going to go. Because what happens a lot of the times is that we have a tendency to strain away all the fiber. Oh, no. And that is where that's where I'm going now to caution, because a lot of the times when, well, I can tell you, a lot of the times, especially when I talk to patients and they say, well, I'm drinking green juice and I'm juicing, and that's good. I like the fact that you're juicing. But when I begin to inquire, they're removing all the fiber. So they're straining off everything. No. And literally when they say they're drinking green juice, they're drinking green juice. That's the liquid, right? Oh, no. But guys, it's important to get the fiber in there, all right? Even if you can't have it all, it's important to get the fiber in there. In fact, I prefer to say green smoothie.
Green smoothie, yes.
Right, because absolutely. That fiber, here's why, there are a number of reasons why that fiber is important, Kim. We know that fiber is good in terms of bulking our stool, keeping us regular. It helps to clean our gastrointestinal tract, right? All right, so that's one. Now, but we also know that fiber is very good for our digestion, and it also helps to regulate the absorption of glucose and sugars from our meal. And that's particularly important for people who want to lose weight or who want to avoid gaining weight, persons who are diabetic or pre-diabetic. Because a lot of the times when we just drink juice, the problem is if there's sugar, the sugar content is high, your blood sugar just shoots straight up. Right up. You see? But if you're taking it in with fiber, then you're going to find that there is a more balanced release of the sugar into your bloodstream, and therefore less of an insulin spike, which is beneficial for weight loss, right? So it's absolutely important that the fiber component is maintained whenever we're making, green juice, green smoothie, as I would call it.
Smoothie, yes. Throw in banana banana definitely gives it that smoothie.
Yeah, well, you
Smoothie
know, it
feel.
depends. I mean, banana.
It's what you
Just,
like because
it depends on what you
banana
like.
can be so overpowering. So that's
Right,
why
right. So some
I
people
don't
might find
recommend
it
it
overpowered.
first. I recommend the
Yeah,
apple and the pineapples first. But if you
yeah.
like banana, you can throw in the banana too. It gives it a nice
It is a
sweet
nice
taste too.
flavor, you know. There it depends. You know, you have to fool around and see what you like. The main thing is that
And
the
if you
fruit.
like banana, then you won't really taste the greens because banana is that girl. You throw in anything and she shines.
And she shines, you
So
know.
she shines. So if you
Yeah.
really don't want to taste the greens, I recommend banana because she will outshine the greens.
You know, I had an interesting smoothie. I have an interesting smoothie this morning. In fact, I haven't had it. I tasted it, but I haven't finished it yet. Cactus smoothie.
You know, you're joking, right? So my aunt, she married this Canadian, right? And he's now living in Jamaica and he had like chronic pain. Don't worry, they share the stories on YouTube, so I'm not telling my family business. So he had chronic pain. He was diagnosed with Lyme disease. And so he's been living in Jamaica now, and he absolutely loves Jamaica because he's pain-free now in Jamaica. And he credits that to tuna, the plant, not the fish. The tuna plant, which is a cactus. And he made it for me with bananas. And it actually tastes really good. It actually reversed his gray hairs. It was the only thing that he added to his diet, the only change that he made. And the hair on his head literally stopped graying and started to turn black.
Really?
You can't tell him nothing
I
about
never-
tuna juice. He drinks it every day, tuna and bananas.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's interesting. I mean, I know there are many
very.
benefits to tuna,
I'll
immune
send you a
function.
YouTube video they made on it.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
telling you that.
this one is new to me though about changing gray hair to black. That's something that I'll have to go check that one out. Like, I'm not a
Do you
believer,
have to
but you know that's
do
new.
you have to worry about the black, the gray hair? No, the
Well,
gray hair is the
I
black.
don't hear, you know, so you know, but just in case, Kim, just in case I decide to
Just
change
in
my look.
case to change your look, you can have black hair, you know?
Well, yeah, but listen, the like for example, I wouldn't be eating cactus or tuna
I would not
in a
eat it
meal
either.
under normal circumstances. But the juice, the smoothie is actually not bad. You know, we had some cucumbers in it. I see your face, Kim. You don't look like you don't look like that.
I'm fine. No, I'm fine.
Your face is
I'll
like
drink it.
you.
Actually, I drank it. I wasn't a believer when he said it tastes good. I was just like, there's no way I'm gonna drink tuna and banana. But I had it and it's really
Well,
good. It's really good.
yeah,
It's
this one is
refreshing.
yeah. This one is
Once
quite
it's
refreshing.
cold,
Yeah, with some
it's
ice
refreshing.
chilled. There's no banana in it though. It's more like this one is more like a tangy flavor. So it has lime in it
Mm-hmm.
with the
Oh,
cucumbers and some
I
other
like tangy
greens that they
flavors. I
put in
think I
it.
would like that.
Yeah,
I
and
think
they
I would
put a
like that.
little
I
bit
like
of honey,
tangy.
put a little bit of honey in it to give it a little sweetness. But
Mm-hmm.
it has a nice little kick and it's not as bitter as I thought it would be. So I'll
It was
definitely be
bitter
trying it
because
again.
the tuna juice is not bitter. But the one that
That's what
he
I'm
makes is
saying.
not bitter
I
at
thought it would have been bitter, but it
all.
wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't at
It's
all.
not.
It isn't actually. So I'm looking forward to finishing that up once I finish the show.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, it is two ingredients smoothie, banana and tuna.
Oh
Tell you,
really?
just two ingredients. Well, water if you count water, but two.
Well, I'm gonna be checking that one out. I'm gonna checking that one out.
But are we going to recap? What's your takeaway? What's your three takeaway from our chat? And I'll share mine.
Yeah, so one, you know, there are a lot of environmental toxins out there that could be harmful to us, and we have a responsibility to begin to educate ourselves on these things. I think I'm gonna do a YouTube video on that, you know. You know, educate
There you go.
ourselves on these toxins, look at the products that we use to see. So that's one. Two, I think we need to make sure that we're kind of cutting back on too many of these fragrances. I think we're overdoing it now. Too many fragrances on our bodies, in our environment. Let's see if we can cut back on that because the evidence is quite clear about these effects, certainly on our reproductive health. And also on the risk of obesity, etc., etc. So definitely watch it for the fragrances. And the third thing I would say, let's make sure that our water. I think if there's one thing I think you should invest in, is a good water filter. Because as I said, if it is that you don't have a filter, then you are the filter.
Absolutely. And to add to your filter, before I give you my 3 takes, is there are lots of research and a lot of YouTubers who hear YouTube knows who they'll show you the difference between when they wash their hair with hard water versus soft water versus using a filter and not using a filter. The difference is significant in terms of how the hair feels, in terms of softness, in terms of dryness. So that alone can tell you a lot, So we're not only talking about water that you're drinking, we're also talking about water because your skin is porous. The things that you use on your skin, it goes in, So we need to be mindful of when we say filter and be mindful of your water. We're not just talking about water you're consuming. We're talking about just water that you're interacting with because your skin is porous and it's absorbing that water as well. So my 3 takeaways: 1, overconsumption, guys. We need to be more mindful, as I know we've all been, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but social media is a huge part of our lives. And we're over-consuming social media and watching people over-consume. And that also trickles into our lives in terms of overconsumption. And we need to be mindful of that because while we can't avoid all toxins, if we're using more and more products, then we're increasing our chances of being exposed to these toxins, right? And how much of these toxins we're being exposed to. So definitely be mindful of what you're watching. Be mindful that persons who you're watching, they're trying to make money. They probably don't do this. Just for this one video, they use all these 10 products. So you don't need to be using all these 10 products every single day. You really don't. 2, exercise. I want to always preach exercising, moving, because we can't control all the things that these companies will be putting in our products, but we can control ourselves and what we do with our lives. So we can choose to be more active. We can choose to get outside more. We can choose to exercise as a means of detoxing our bodies through sweat. And then 3, drink your water and drink your green juice. Yeah, that's it. Those are my 3.
Those are good, Kim. Good.
So we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, definitely, guys. So stay happy, stay healthy until next time. This is us, Women's Health Podcast with Kim and Dr. C.